Picture a silvery metallic liquid. It is the element mercury. Now picture the same element, but tiny amounts of it inside a lump of coal. This lump of coal is moved into a power station, combusted, it goes into the atmosphere as a gas, and travels halfway around the globe. It's not so pretty anymore, is it? Unfortunately, when mercury ends up in the environment, it transforms and descends back on the Earth's surface. So one way this can go is that it will deposit upon a river, and microbes in this river will transform it into a very powerful poison called methylmercury. And this, unfortunately, likes to accumulate in larger fish species, such as tuna that we like to eat. It can take many other ways as well, as depositing on the soil or on the Arctic snow. And unfortunately, it has a propensity to then be re-released into the atmosphere, and the cycle starts anew. This is really problematic. Wherever mercury is released, it might end up in your tuna sandwich. Luckily, we are currently tackling this problem on a global scale with a UN convention that is trying to ban all industrial uses of this stuff, like in tooth fillings or in other types of chemical manufacturing. Unfortunately, we can only tackle intentional uses of mercury. But a quarter of all emissions stem from accidental releases, like when mercury is inside a coal or in biomass. And this is what I am tackling in my research. I've set out, when mercury is released in a power station, it is released as elemental mercury. And this really doesn't like to interact with the already existing pollution control in these power stations. So I've set out to design a catalyst that can transform the mercury inside the power station into a form that will more readily interact. I'm doing this by using a heat-treated biomass waste called biochar. This is a cheap and sustainable material, and it is enhanced by me with manganese dioxides. They are powerful oxidants. Manganese dioxides are a structurally very diverse group of minerals, and so I'm currently synthesizing many biochar manganese composites to find out which ones are most fit for the purpose. So then when mercury is released as elemental mercury through the combustion inside a power station, it has to pass the catalyst. And while doing that, some electrons are transferred from the catalyst and the biochar and the mercury, and it turns into mercury 2+, oxidized mercury. This is much more self-sufficient and more reactive than elemental mercury, and it likes to interact with the particles around it, such as soot particles in the power station. And these, in turn, get stuck in the dedicated filters. So the mercury is kept from sneaking out of the power station.